Hello everyone, my name's Reject, and this is the Reject Weekly Geek Out. We do this every week on my channel on Reject and Gamers. This one, I guess I'm going to have to make 2 Geek Outs a week if I find anything better, but I'm going to be doing the Samurai Jack, giving you my opinions on episodes. I might have to do 2 in a row sometimes, but I'll give you a shout out ahead of time. Best way for you to know when I'm doing a Samurai Jack Geek Out or what Geek Out's coming out. Follow me at Twitter at the Reject160. I post about every day on there, so come check me out. Also, you can check me out on Instagram. Should be at the Reject160 also. And also, I do Facebook sometimes. Not that much though. But yeah, just look up the Reject160. It should be on the screen by now, and you can find out whatever you need to know. Okay, so the latest episode of Samurai Jack. Oh my god, we find out what Ashi is supposed to be in the series. Because look, no matter what, when you bring back a series like this, after that time length, there has to be some reasoning behind having a character in there. And it sort of foreshadowed that Ashi was going to be that way, or she might be tempted to turn back to Aku, or something like that. We find out what she is in this episode, which is amazing to see. And I will talk about... Actually, I'm just going to talk about Ashi in this episode because her story arc in this episode was amazing. And basically it revolves around what happens with Jack in the last episode when he leaves. She's searching for him. I'm not going to spoil anything about Jack because, oh my god, this gets so dark. It's amazing. And if you like dark cartoon, this is an amazing scene to see. So, let's talk about Ashi. Well, as you saw in the episode before, Jack was showing her what Aku did. Which was an interesting thing. You know, Jack's not going to gloat about, well, I did this, I saved these people, I saved them. He's just doing it because that's the right thing to do. Well, when Ashi has to go look for him, she finds out what he did over the time that he's been in the future, since he's been cast away in the future. And it is amazing to see this, simply because you see, for any nostalgic fan of Samurai Jack, you see some of the best episodes. You might see your favorite character in this episode. Well, your second favorite probably, because the Scotsman was in a couple episodes before that. Yet what happens is Ashi goes on this adventure. She's on a airship trying to track down Jack. These 2 hooded guys go up there and she's asking herself, where's Jack? I mean, she says it out loud. The hooded guys just start beating up on her because they're like, you're not going to hurt the samurai. And this was like the first big adventure he did, where he saved these elephant-like people. They look like Dexter's Lab, Dexter's Lab Dee Dee, her imaginary friend. Imagine them rounder, brown, but had that same weird troll-like nose. And they had all the, I call them mini Sheldons, because when I saw Big Bang Theory, I'm like, that looks like the blue guys from that episode of Samurai Jack. And it was amazing to see this. We go on a nostalgic trip, but Ashi learns about what Jack has done over the years. And this is where we find out what Ashi is. She's supposed to be that filling in gap for the people who don't remember that much of Samurai Jack, or the people who just are jumping in with Season 5. Which is amazing to use her in that way. But also, they're not misusing her by stating, oh, well, yeah, she's just for this. She's just that. Not at all. They actually give her some depth to her character in this episode, and they have been since the first episode. She's going to be a main part. This is why in the beginning I'm like, she's a main part. She's going to return. I don't know if she's going to be the villain or the hero or whatever, but yeah. So, she does that. They tell them about how Jack saved them from their enslavers, and that if they ever need him, they will be there. They're there for Jack. And, well, she jumps out of the ship, lands into the forest, because the conductor of it all told him, oh, yeah, the man you're looking for, he departed here. So she jumped down, she sort of headed off into the wooded areas, and you see the beetle drones going through there, but they're getting destroyed. So I'm like, Jack's gonna show up here. No, it's not Jack at all. This comes from the episode where Jack goes to this tower for a wishing well. And they have 3, I believe they're monks, sort of. They're monkish characters with real elongated bodies. But the well could have brought them back in time. Just these 3 creatures up there are completely blind. They're looking like the Anubis, like the Egyptian god of the underworld, Anubis. And they're archers, and they take down Jack. This episode was real heart-pounding during that episode. But yeah, they take down Jack. Jack has an amazing scene. He blindfolds himself in that episode. gets up there, avoids them all, and destroys the portal. That's basically the synopsis of what happened throughout it all. I think it was right after the Scotsman episode, actually. Or Scotsman shows up there. I forgot. No, I think it was a similar episode. But yeah, so that occurs there. And these guys are shooting arrows, taking out the beetle drones. They shoot one. Ashi's standing behind a tree. It goes through the tree, and Ashi just like, it's that one scene in the cartoon where it's like, oh look, the arrow almost hit you. And she comes out, hands up, like they're saying, if you're here to get the samurai, we will you have to go through us. And she comes out, hands up. I'm not here for the samurai. I don't want to hurt him. He's my friend. I'm looking for him. And these guys bring him up there. They tell him the story about what happened in that episode and how they saved him and how they only saw him that one day, but they are eternally grateful for them liberating him. And you see these guys have formed a village, or they found their village again, with a big statue of Jack in there, and oh my god, it's amazing. Oh, and I haven't even mentioned the color palette. Oh man, this looks like the original series when you'd see him go out in the forest or something. The whole time through here, the colors have been sort of muted a little bit more shadowing, a little bit more darker. No, this one's just, this one is vibrant. It is amazing to see. It gives you wonder, and it gave me tingles. I mean, I got goosebumps right now talking about it. I love this episode. And she finds out about what Jack did. She goes on, and then she sort of hits her own quest. And they have a flashback to when she was a kid. And if you didn't know this about Aku, in the very beginning of creation in the lore of Samurai Jack, the darkness was formed. So Ra, about 3 gods, I know one of them was Ra, showed up, and they confronted the darkness and tried to destroy it. Well, a little bit landed on Earth. Jack's father saw that the spiky force, every time someone went through there, would be killed. So he went in there, his men were killed, he got an arrow, dabbed it in some magic potion thing, shot it in the puddle, in the darkness puddle where the spiky trees were formed, and Aku was born. So you can sort of say Aku is Jack's half-brother. And that's how he was basically formed. We realized something. Ashi, where the temple was, I believe it was right over where the spiky tree forest was. And why do I say this? Oh my god. They show a scene when they were little kids in that black suit Ashi wears. Here, I'll put it on the screen for you. Yeah, that black suit isn't a bodysuit. It's not like a skin-tight suit. It's not dressing. It's not something like that. It's the darkness, the remainder, the residue that Aku was made of. And simply enough, this was stunning to see. The main reason why, you see her mom have her disrobed, knock her in there, and she gets up with a blood-curdling scream like she's being burnt. And it was amazing to see this part. So that was not that wasn't a bodysuit. That was the darkness consuming, that was layered on there by her mother. So you know her mother's the big bad. I mean, Aku's alright, but hell, her mom, after her doing that, is like, fuck Aku. I mean, hell, he killed a Scotsman, which I still hate his ass for it, but a mom doing that to her kid is like, holy shit. So what happens, she has an emotional scene where the flashback is going, but she jumps into this puddle, grabs 2 rocks, and grinds this stuff off of her. And oh my god, I think Ashi is my bae. I think Ashi is my new waifu. Holy crud! She's up there with Magic and Jean Grey right now. I watch that scene, I'm sitting there like, let me look, hold up, let me pause this. I gotta go on DeviantArt for, oh. I mean, it was one of those scenes. And they have her in a little grass dress that she created, which I actually like that part. And the next spot she goes to was the Samurai Bar. I mean, if you haven't seen the episode of The Samurai, I've seen it probably, I don't know why this one airs so much, but it's amazing to see. It's the funniest episode ever, because it's like, imagine Black Dynamite and MC Hammer were fused together, and they tossed in a whole bottle of Weeaboo and Samurai Jack. 2 bottles of it, just tossed them in there. Weeaboo and Samurai Jack. He was called the Samurai. He walked around with a walking boombox, sort of, around with him. He's like an 80s parody walking through there. I'm the Samurai Chicken Chop! I mean, it was funny to see. It wasn't like they're trying to be rude. It was just sort of a joke about it. I think he was making more of a joke about Weeaboo than anything else. And it was simply the funniest thing to see, because we find out what happened to him after that. I actually wanted the Samurai. He was up there with the Scotsman because they made me laugh the most. I wanted to see more of him in the series. I am so glad. I am so glad they brought him back. I'm serious. I am amazed that they brought him back even for this little scene here. Because she goes into the bar. They have all these villains that Jack has fought in the past. And they tell him, well, look at what he did to me. Look at what he did to me. He's no hero. He's a villain. Well, we know from watching the series, they're the villains. And the samurai, you're thinking he's going to pull up there and say that. No, he goes, y'all shut up. And he tells what Samurai Jack did to him. Taught him the way of the samurai, not what he thought was the samurai. And after that, he decided he's hang up his katana and simply go with being the bartender at that bar where Jack fought him and defeated him and taught him how to be a samurai. That was good. I just really wished he would have said, well, over time, Jack taught me to be the samurai for months, and I was a samurai for a while, then I let my son or something else fill in for him. But no, it didn't happen like that. I really wish it was, because the samurai episode's the one that I've watched probably the most, because every time I've clicked on TV when I'm like, I want to start watching Samurai Jack again. Maybe I missed an episode. First one that's always on when it's on TV is The Samurai. I don't know why, but that's just my luck. And so that goes on there. Then she goes on, she meets one more group of people that I don't really remember from the series, but that's why I'm going to rewatch the series now. There are these raving guys out there, and they're all just sort of party guys out there, all of them in different suits. It was like the Samurai Jack when it first started. It's like, what the hell? This is sort of like cool, but it's like the geek style, sort of like 50s, 60s, 80s, now, futuristic, all this shit we're mixing together. This is how we get the look for the people in Samurai Jack. And what happens? They tell her about how Jack saved them, which throughout it all, it's amazing to see this because they're using Ashi in a good way. Because for returning fans that did not watch the series over again, for new fans who are just joining us with season 5, Ashi is your way to go through there. And if you want to know about Samurai Jack, I'd say watch this episode if you don't want to spend time or you can't really spend time watching the whole series. Well, after that, it gets a lot darker, and the main reason why she finds Jack. The color is gone, and it's that same tinted way, but we find out that the color, the tint that they use, actually is supposed to represent the emotions in it all. Ashi is wonder. She's opening her eyes for the first time. Jack, every time he's around, the tint gets a little darker, usually when it's just him. And what happens is, it's because he's been weathered. He's going down. He's in like a depression. He's in a rut. And it peaks here. You just have to watch this scene. I don't want to spoil it for you because, oh my god. And even for the first part of Ashi, the way I gave it did not give it justice. You should watch this episode if you haven't watched it yet. It's amazing to see this. And oh my god, this is going to be on my list of must-watch episodes for season 5. And so guys, see you next week here for the next Geek Out. Also, if you want to stay around today, I posted a rundown of the movie Going Out in Style. That should be up about the same time as this. If you check at the end, it should be up there with the most recent upload or a selected video of it. So go check that out. Remember this, if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe. Every Tuesday we do Geek Outs, Thursdays are discussions, and every other day is gameplay. Also, we'll upload random fail videos we have on the channel, so subscribe, check us out. And if you want more Geek Outs, or catch up on the Samurai Jack Geek Outs, I got a playlist at the end here for you. See you next time here. Stay geeky, everyone.